Alright, a short tutorial on how to create a wood plank. You can do that with Maya first. I'm just get really familiar of Maya's ways of creating primitives, so that's why I'm starting with Maya and just give it some width, and then maybe it's not that thick. It's, something like a plank, and then you want to give it enough subdivision on the height, maybe that much, and subdivision height and subdivision width, of course, depth, of course. All right. Well, to certain amount, it doesn't have to be too much, but enough topology to work with. All right, and when that is done, you can delete it. Okay, now if you have go Z, you can go Z. Okay, that will bring it to ZBrush. If you don't have go Z, just go and do the export to object way. It doesn't really make that much of a difference. In ZBrush, what you can do with this plank is you can use the snake hook brush. Okay, it drags things up and you're holding down the space button. Sorry, drag something up, and then when you're dragging, you can then holding down shift to make it go only up and down. Okay, drag first and then holding down shift. Alright, so what you want to do is start dragging things around to create the broken side of the plank. And now if you want more variation, you may need to have more subdivision level on it. That's just the nature of it. But if you don't need that much, you can just do a little like what I'm doing here now. Okay, and this actually is making it looks almost exactly like the broken wood you could ask for. But if you want more detail, like what I mentioned before, you want to give it more subdivision level. So you may want to Control D on it, or this is actually not nice. So we want to subdivide it. So let's go to the geometry and then divide. Let's turn off the smooth topology to give it more a subdivision level, and then when you start dragging again, you can see you can give it all sorts of little things on the plank. Oh. And if you really want to have sharper instead of a circular top, I think you can go find a alpha here to give you something interesting. Okay, not quite working, but see what I'm trying to do here is give it some more variation on the plank, but the basic idea is the same. You want to start dragging and those things up and down, and eventually you got the broken result you're looking for. If you really have that thing, you want to get rid of that rounded top, you can use of course the clip curve tool and holding down Control Shift to cut it to make it straight. Alright, I think I can drag that down to give the little seam some distance from the broken part. Alright, alright, so this is almost like a plank that has been broken. Okay, one more thing I can do, if I really want to make it look nice, I can refine that shape, but I guess that's supposed to be good enough. I'm not gonna go too crazy about it. Okay, of course this is not gonna be very easy to use back in Maya because the topology is all messed up. So one thing you can do with it, of course, is that you can, if you really want to have more random broken part, you can use this brush to drag the edges to give some broken area here. So that shouldn't be hard to do. Okay. All right. Just to give it more variation, but you see the basic idea is use this snake hook brush to give it some random broken part. The good thing about this brush is that it's actually creating some very sharp, edges. It looks like breaking instead of a very rounded result, which would be much worse. So that's why I think this brush is really good on creating this kind of broken plank. But anyway, when that is done, of course this is not useful. This is just a high definition mesh. What you can do is, of course, data mesh it, and it will ask you to freeze subdivision level. Let's press yes. No, let's press no. Okay, it always makes me wonder. But then what ZBrush will do is just data mesh it to create a very dense mesh. And this mesh is something you can, if you want to keep working on, you can keep working on refining those things. But if you don't need that, then all you have to do is start to export that and go back to Maya and retopologizing it. One more thing you can try to do is after finishing one plank, you can copy it and just move it around like this, and then you will end up with a much more complicated shape, and you can data mesh them all together to give it more detail. But I guess that's your choice to either do this or not. But anyway, I think that's good enough for a broken plank. You see a lot of details on each end, and of course on the other end, and something are happening in the middle too. So I guess it's pretty nice and good enough for most of the requirements. And yeah, that is it. So I'm not sure if I can go Z back though. Let's try that. Let's go Z again to go back to Maya. And let's see, Maya does not actually update it, so GoZ is never working for me. So you want to export it back to Maya and do some retopologizing. If you're kind of lazy and you think, okay, I'm not gonna retopologize that, well, then you can use ZBrush's own retopologizing tool. You can duplicate this model and select this new one and use a ZRemesher. And sometimes it gives you a decent topology. Okay, if you're doing high resolution rendering, then it's actually better just to use that topology. The only downside of the ZRemesher topology, if you look at it, it's decent, is that you have to it takes you more time to do the UV because you have to find the right line to cut. But actually it's no big deal. If you really want detail, then you have to have enough geometry to work on. There's no workaround. So I guess this is it. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next tutorial.